Good morning, church. It is good to be with you today. Today we are talking about being born again, and what a novel concept that was in Jesus' day. There was a man from the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. This man came to him at night and said, "Rabbi, we know that you are a teacher who has come from God, for no one could perform these signs you do unless God were with him." Jesus replied, "Truly I tell you, unless someone is born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God." "How can anyone be born when he is old?" Nicodemus asked him. "Can he enter his mother's womb a second time and be born?" Do you just kind of marvel at the thought that Nicodemus has here? Sorry, I'm sweating a little bit. I just had to go shovel before we did the daily video today. And he says, can anyone go into his mother's womb and be born again? And he just can't understand what's happening. But this is such an essential concept, and one that Jesus thought that he should have a handle on, that he said, "Are you a teacher of Israel and don't know these things? Truly I tell you, we speak what we know and we testify what we have seen, but you do not accept our testimony. If I have told you about earthly things and you don't believe, how will you believe if I tell you about heavenly things?" There's kind of a baseline to be able to understand the truth about the person and work of Christ. And when we tell people about these concepts, like Jesus is doing here, we should have this twin understanding of, number one, we should expect people to understand because we have eternity written on our hearts and God's law written there. But at the same time, we shouldn't be too surprised when they don't, because they've never heard these words, these concepts before, and that image of God being marred by sin in our minds that are marred by this fallen world can't understand these spiritual concepts. So I want to challenge you today. This is the challenge. Think about this teaching that Jesus gives to Nicodemus. You must be born again. And think out, maybe even write out, how would you tell someone about this? About that they must be born again? How would you communicate this concept? What would you do if someone said, "What, do I have to get back in my mother's womb another time?" What's the words you would use? How would you communicate this? So put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear it, and we'll share our thoughts on how would you tell someone you must be born again. I love you, church. We'll talk to you soon again.